He's just one place behind Danish. On that fourth row of the grid, from the Euro, fifth place last weekend in Le Mans, and he's four top six in 32 Grand Prix. Let's go back down to Jack on the grid.
Yeah, got Hector Testuri with me, crew chief for the pole man, Valentine Peroni. Well,
a Leopard Honda ride, of course, winner in Austin a few weeks ago. So Feeney gets pushed up to 16th place on the grid. Leo Shakers bumped up to row 5, and the Brit was 16th on the grid. He's now going to be starting 15th. We saw that on the graph the other a few minutes ago. Rico Salmena has a long lap in this upcoming Grand Prix, but slow on line. It's on Friday afternoon. So there's your front row then for our first race of Chapter 6 in 2026. First front row start of his Grand Prix career for Brian Uriarte. David Munoz, previous podium finisher here 4 years ago in Barcelona, goes from second place on the grid. Valentine Peroni though on the 73. It's pole position number 3 for him in his Moto3 career. Can he get the job done and win the Battle of Barcelona with Moto3?
If you like the Moto3 close and competitive, then Catalunya is the circuit for you. Valentine Peroni, born and raised in Barcelona, on pole from David Munoz, and a first front row for Brian Uriarte. David Almanza's best qualifying since his injury return in fourth ahead of Marco Morelli and Jesus Riota, career best for him. 100% podium record on the line today for Max Quiles in 2026. He's got Kelso and Fernandez alongside him. Hakim Danici was fastest on Friday. It came from the Catalan in Joan Esteban and Le Mans podium finisher Matteo Bertelli. Alvaro Carpe is 13th ahead of Rico Salmela, who has a long lap penalty to serve. He's ahead of Eddie O'Shea, Guido Pini and Luisa Yamanaka. Scott Ogden up to 18th ahead of Adrian Cruzes and Veda Patama. His lowest qualifying so far, down in 21st, pops up to 20th of course ahead of Muthi, Carraro, Mitani, O'Gorman, back from 12th to 24th on the grid with his penalty. He's got Leo Ramos and Cormac Buchanan behind him.
So he can potentially conquer Quiles here out in Catalunya. 150. Points from the first 5 Grand Prix, a beat from the previous. When you look at the World Championship, I'm going to get too pessimistic for Max Quiles' competition, but in Moto3 history, the highest margin anybody has come back from the win World Championship was 52 points. Jaume Massey back in 2023, so we're already kind of getting into that territory as far as Max Quiles is concerned. I mean, he might be heading to Magello in a couple of weeks' time, but of course, his first ever Grand Prix. And the championship over 50 points, we can give him a 2-race buffer. The season still to be completed. Never take your eyes off Quiles, can you, on circuit in Moto3? It's aggressive, he's a tactician. He's only done the back starting on that third row of the grid. He will have to be wary. Likewise, some of those riders coming further back at that, abusing up their rear, trying to tie it too early. Well, of course, what does pay big dividends here for Barcelona with a 1,000.
Kau cari celah sendiri, saat suara mengecil kau bikin lebih nyaring. Tangan yang sempat lelah tetap genggam mimpi.
Langit pun tahu kau tak datang untuk lari. Second in a close to a sprint finish to Alex Marquez in MotoGP yesterday. David Munoz comes late to the front row for a 10th front row start of his Grand Prix career for the intact GP ride, and all KTM front row of the grid. Jesus Rios, keep an eye on him as the top Honda going away from 6 on the grid. 18 laps coming your way. Lights out to a racing in Moto3 here in Barcelona. It's a perfect start from pole position by Peroni, although Uriarte's got the drop in very, very quick. What a start that was by Brian Uriarte's first front row. He's going all the twice in the exit, and the pillon, well, he is in the pillon. Keep off the grass, Brian, as he runs down to the first corner. Dream started for Uriarte. Almanza's been aggressive on the brakes into the first corner as well. He's up in third place, just behind Munoz.
It's just looking at Keyless just going down the left-hand side of the racetrack. Where are the rest of you going? I'm just going to go down the left and try and get a clear run down to the first corner. And it kind of works, you have to say, for Keyless. He's up to fourth already.
His initial jump off the line wasn't bad at all, but they started going through the gearbox. He started going backwards, although he's put some manners on Keyless there. That's a brave move on Keyless, the world championship leader. Peroni getting back through then into turn 5.
Rios down a couple. He's a Danish is up ahead of him and trying to take Keyless. Look at that, the Malaysian up the inside of the world championship leader. I told you to watch Danish fastest on Friday. He's now fifth.
Class B back by the number 13. Brilliant move. Too many people have bumped off Keyless in Barcelona. Down to red turn 5. Yeah, didn't last for too long, though, did it? A couple of corners later, Keyless comes straight back on through. So it's Uriarte then for the first time in his Moto3 career that he leads it. He's at the front early on here in Barcelona. Keyless taking the green paint where they're on the outside of 9.
Someone who's also making his way rapidly up the order is Veda already up into 13th place. There he is. Look up the inside of Rico Salmela, who's got a long lap penalty to serve very shortly. That's Pratama now up into 13th place. He's gained 7 already on that one.
It's been a strong start for Batelli as well. He was up as high as 7th in the part of this lap. There is Keyless, then he's got Danish and Rios just behind him. Twitch there from Fernandez, who dropped down the hill into turn 13. Oh, Danish on the inside of Keyless into turn 14. For Lorenzo Valentino Rossi, eat your heart out. What a move that was by Danish into that final corner as Rios and Keyless go elbow to elbow down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, the rookies are ganging up on the World Championship leader at the moment, aren't they? As the intact pair doing number on Uriarte, both Almanza and Munoz through, and it's the 22 who leads the 64. It's an intact 1-2 now.
Yeah, now Fernandez with the slips in as Rios made a right hash of that first corner braking zone. He lost the position to Fernandez. Fernandez had already blitzed through on Keyless on the run down to the first corner. A shame that for Jesus Rios. He did well actually just to keep it off the tarmac there, because he could have easily run into the long lap penalty. Almanza it is that leads from his teammate Munoz. There was our early leader Uriarte there in third place. Down the hill we go. Tricky braking zone, this left-hander into 5.
Different tyre strategies in the top 3 that you're looking at. We've got Almanza who's on the soft rear tyre, as is the rider third in your picture, Uriarte. Munoz second, like in your picture, 64. He is on the medium rear.
Keyless at the moment back in 8th. He's been roughed up so far, Keyless. In fact, he's now back in 10th. Esteban and Carte have just picked him off. And, well, this is not going to plan A at all, is it, for the world champion? He's now back in 11th.
He's been beaten up big time in these early stages. His teammate Marco Morelli is also ahead of him. Wasn't a great first lap for Asphalt. Morelli dropped places. So when you look back down the road, back down the picture, Keyless is the second of the Asphalt lines. There he is on the pit 28, trying to get some revenge in on Carte and his teammate Morelli, but the door being slammed in his face.
Gorman's making some forward progress after he was dropped from 12th to 24th the grid. He's now up into 17th spot, just behind the Aussie Joel Kelso. Yeah, this has not been planning executed as Keyless wanted at all, has it? As he tried to show his front wheel to Esteban down the hill into 30, he's going to attack him through the final corner into 40. That's a lovely, lovely move, this. Keyless got to get going here. He can't let this lead group get away.
Short's going to leave him exposed, though, on this main straight, because he's now towing about 7 or 8 riders who are right behind him as they fan out, taking 3-4 different lines. It's 3 wide on the run down to turn 1. And they've clearly got those intact KTMs geared right, haven't they? Once again, it's Munoz who gets the turn 1 first.
Liking the look of Danish in fifth. He's just set the fastest lap of this Grand Prix at 1:47.325. Malaysian fans up late in the evening over in KL and all over Malaysia. Well, they'll be loving this. They'll be buzzing as Danish there in fifth. Munoz is a bit more on the exit of 3. And now Uriarte's going to square him into the turn 4. Love that by Uriarte, taking full advantage of that little mistake by Munoz. So Uriarte was the leader at the end of lap 1. It's back at the front on lap 3.
Keyless crucially did hold that place, 8th place. It was Sam Elgar away. Danish now piles up the inside of the pole sitter Peroni. Rios also through on Fernandez. But Keyless, you can now see him at the top of the picture. He's now at the front of that chase group. And his task now is to try and close the gap on the 7 ahead of him.
Something's happened to Morelli on the early part of this lap. He came over the line to start his third lap in 11th. He's been pushed back down to 16th place. So the 2 Aspire riders have been going the wrong way in this Grand Prix.
No wonder, because he was with Salmela. Salmela just come through for his long lap penalty. Maybe Morelli got connected with Salmela while he was serving that long lap. Rico Salmela, the rookie to finish, now back to 20th and served his lap.
Uriarte looking so good, so confident. That was Rios tumbling it out with Peroni on the brakes into turn 10. Cracking ride this by Jesus Rios. He was starting on a season best 6th place, a career best 6. Here is Jesus Rios then on the 54 bike. He's got a great podium chance here, no question.
Rios is already closing that gap down now, down to 1.5, up to Fernandez at the start of the lap. It was nearly 2 seconds. So the World Championship leader, I think he's just hoping that the riders behind him recognise what's going on and that Quiles can tow them up. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix to Jesus Rios. He's going to pick up a 4x slipstream. And Danish, who's light as a feather, is going to go from 4th to the lead now.
Good lead, yeah. Rob's knees with Munoz in the braking zone for the first. What a that was by Rios. So 147.2. That was 7/10 quicker than your race leader Uriarte. Jesus Rios is loving this front battle at the front. He's got a long lap penalty for causing contact. He's a lanky old fella, Guido Pini, so he's going to have to come through the long lap pretty quickly.
Pretty hard to spot the contact and try and give penalties out. Going in everywhere in this Moto3 races. Rios tried to take that inside line on Uriarte, who led at the start of the lap, and that just goes to show you, if you're leading and towing riders down Main Street, you can get beaten up badly. Fernandez also through now, so Uriarte has now lost 6 places on this lap, with Peroni also ahead of him now.
Yeah, you give a gap to Adrian Fernandez that big, and he's going to scold it up. No second invite needed for the number 31. So Almanza it is that leads. That was something that wasn't it by Rios. I think the second quickest rider on that last lap was Danish with a 47.6, so he was almost 4/10 quicker than anybody else out on circuit. They've been helped by a bit of slipstream out of that final corner. Of course, he obviously got great drive, getting that Honda hooked up out of 14. He's getting better and better. He goes on the inside of Munoz and Danish here. Munoz squeezed Danish out wide and left a big hole on the inside. And Rios said, "Thank you very much, I'll take it up to second."
So before the race, he is a circuit specialist, winner in 2024 and 2025 here in the Junior GP World Championship. He loves this place. There's Jesus Rios. He is not a Catalan. He hails from Marbella, but at the moment he is sniffing a first Moto3 podium, if not better.
Quiles and Carpe got themselves back into this league group. You saw Carpe though, he dropped down through 13, and a big long look over his left shoulder to see who was the closest competition. Rios trying to pick up some slipstream here. So too is Fernandez and Munoz. They're going to fan out 4, 5 abreast. Danish there keeping a washing brief in the back. Almanza, nothing wrong with the top speed of his K10 at all. He's really aerodynamic as well. He's a bit of a pocky rocky, is Almanza. Nobody got close to him on the slipstream. Almanza, Rios, Fernandez in that top group in the 47s. Just said about Quiles and Carpe getting on with business. Carpe just his fastest on the Grand Prix at 47.5 as Danish hooks the inside line on Rios. Danish then back up into Q4 going 3-4.
Yeah, Carpe's been quite clever, hasn't he, in these early stages? Just going with Quiles and letting him tow him up to the leading group. Behind them is Peroni, who's over the 4-8, you have to say, from pole position as Rios tried to repeat the trick on Danish, but unfortunately that one wasn't successful for him.
Morelli's only recovered, but he dropped down to as low as 16th, 17th. Early on, he's back up into the point scoring places in 14th spot with that Yamanaka. They've just got through on that roof coast South Valley. Yamanaka started 17th, he's up to 18th place. Here is Rios then. Fastest lap of this Grand Prix so far.
Keep an eye on Patana too, the number 9, he's in 10th place, he's in the 47th as well, as that's Uriarte up the inside of Rios. It's a leading group of 9 that you can see in your picture, but Veda Pratama, who's come from 20th on the grid, he's also catching this group quickly.
Uriarte and Rios really toughing it out as they went through turn 12. That's where Jorge Martin had a scary crash in MotoGP on Friday morning. We've got yellow flags out in sector 4. They're liking something down at turn 10. That's the beginning of turn 10 is the start of sector 4, I should say. It's Carrara who's gone down. He was on the poor Grand Prix weekend anyway. Teammate to Jesus Rios. Almanza then ticks off another lap at the front. Munoz, Uriarte and Carpe in this league group have all set their best lap to Grand Prix so far. Here comes Fernandez. Can he attack Munoz on the brakes into turn 1? All out of shape on the brakes for Munoz, but he holds the lead.
Almanza lunging up the inside of Danish to at least keep himself in 3rd place. Peroni's got no pace at all at the moment on the Tech 3 bike. He's in the 48. He's nearly a second and a lap off the pace. He's about to get swallowed up by Pratama. This is the crash for Carrara, who's running just ahead of Ramastorfa and Mitani. Then it's the battle for 22nd place. Carrara at the number 10 down at turn 10.
Fernandez looks like he's gone wide going through turn 4. Was he out wide of his own accord, or did he get a bit of a helping hand? He's going to try and strike straight back on Denise downhill. Rios through on Uriarte. You can't take your eyes off this lead group, can you? Of 8, chopping and changing positions pretty much every corner. So Fernandez then back up into P3. Nice move back through on Denise into 5.
In that same corner, Carpe picked the pocket of Quiles, but once again, much like we saw with the rookie Danish earlier, Quiles straight back through into turn 7. Quiles, I think he's done a lot of the hard work here now. He's caught on to the back of this leading group. He's now got an opportunity to try and build a bit of patience, save some tyre, and let the race come to him later on.
Fernandez got superb pace through turn 9. That was all set up to his corner speed going through turn 9. He was close enough then just to seize that inside line on Munoz into 10. That was textbook that by Fernandez as Perones rose 48.4 on his last lap from Perone. He was the slowest rider of the top 10 by some distance. The only rider in the 48s from that last lap was Rios. Of course, he was getting barged about himself with Danish. He loves that move. He loves that move. Fernandez takes the lead at 14, but through turn 14, Hakim Danish made some killer moves there already in this Grand Prix. He's going to get attacked by Munoz. Fernandez is under attack from Almanza. Well, everybody's attacking each other right now as Uriarte chops the front wheel of Danish in the braking zone. Oh, Munoz and Fernandez. Those two have got history. Those two have previous labelled elbows in the first corner. And out of all of it, it's Fernandez that leads.
And Uriarte around the outside of Almanza gets the inside into 2, and he takes second place. Quiles with the best view in the house. He's now picked up 2 of those. He's now ahead of Carpe and Danish. The leading group of 7, about 8 riders back to Danish. You can throw a blanket over them.
The only rider in the top 10 at the moment, it's in the 47s, is Rios. Don't take your eyes off your number 54. So it's Adrian Fernandez then back at the front of this Grand Prix, second in the World Championship. Back-to-back second places after a shaky start to the new campaign. 40 points out of the last 50 as Munoz dive bombs his teammate Almanza into 5. Friendly fire there between the 2 Dynavolt riders.
Yeah, the riders, remember, to look out for in terms of tyres as Almanza dishes out some a counter-attack on Munoz there in 3rd place. The riders in the top 3 tyre in this group are Uriarte, Almanza and Rios. Fernandez too, actually, the race leader, is on the top 3 tyre. The Hondas do prefer to go for the top 3, but let's see how that works out for them in the second half of the race.
Can't discount Patama, Perone, Esteban, O'Gorman, Morelli, Patelli, Kelso getting involved in this podium fight. Because on that last lap, Esteban, O'Gorman, Morelli and Kelso, I'm telling you, they're all in the 47. They're quite quicker than this lead group, while bumping and barging each other all over this Barcelona circuit. Uriarte somehow has cut himself back to the front of this Grand Prix, but Patama is dragging a big group along with him as well into podium contention. What was a sort of 8-rider battle we thought for the win, well, it could very, very quickly be a 15-16-rider battle for the win.
That is very circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. Munoz wide out of the final corner. Will that give him some trouble when we get down to turn 1? Lap 8 of 18. Yeah, the leaders. Well, Uriarte did a 47.8, but everyone else in the group behind him did 48. Danish did a 49.0. And you've got the likes of Patelli and Kelso doing personal best in the 47s. Further back, Quiles desperately pleading in that spot KTM to stop there as he nearly ran to the back of Rios. And that opened the door there for Carpe to pile through.
Not a particularly quick race either, is it? I mean, a 47.2 is Rios' best lap of the Grand Prix. That's half a second away from the race record held by Jose Antonio Rueda. That's when we look at Patama, and now he's right on the back of this lead group, isn't he? And that's lovely by Danish. Danish has made some class moves in this Grand Prix, just lifting up Quiles, and that's allowed Patama to come on through. So our Southeast Asian fans are loving this Barcelona Grand Prix. Quiles straight back through on Patama. I mean, how many overtakes have we already had in this lead group? And we're not even anywhere near half-race distance.
So many of them have been on Max Quiles. It's like the Moto3 field who have got themselves together in a dark room and said, we've had enough of being beaten up by Max Quiles. Let's try and fight fire with fire. No, Quiles, try as he might, he just cannot make any forward progress through this lead group. He's spent most of this Grand Prix since he caught them, sat at the back of this train.
So Uriarte goes ultra defensive. He's almost on the white line now on the exit turn. No, he just stayed to the left-hand side of the track there, didn't he, before sweeping across the nose of Fernandez. Rios then now up into 3rd place. He's been the fastest rider in this Grand Prix. He was at the 47.2 by a mile as the fastest lap of this race. So as it stands right now, long way to go here in Catalunya. Max Quiles, if he threw the flag now, would be losing 12 points in that World Champion League. We've got time to rectify that situation. Uriarte then powers out the final corner on these 51 Red Bull KTM, as you can see, his left foot there as he goes through the gearbox, trying to break the slipstream here. Fernandez then behind him. Munoz goes alongside Rios, 64 versus 54. In fact, Rios gets swallowed up by both Dynamite riders. Almanza and Munoz come through. Rios from 3rd to 5th.
Danish defending, fighting, attacking, or if you want it, I guess, pick any word you like. They're all battling in this leading group. And how much battling's going on, just to underline it, the fastest rider on the racetrack at the moment is Eddie O'Shea in 15th place. He just did a 1.7.571, half a second quicker than this group are going.
Now there's 6 riders in front of O'Shea, pitching a massive hole in the air, brilliant by O'Shea. He's utilising that slipstream to his maximum effect. Casey O'Gorman's an absolute blinding ride, as well as Rios once again sending on the inside of Almanza into 5. Let's not forget O'Gorman was pushed back 12 places on the grid from 12th to 24th. He's come back into the top 10. He's only 2.2 seconds off the race lead at the moment, is O'Gorman. Looking forward to seeing what the City Trade Sport course rider can do in the second half of this Grand Prix, because the first 9 laps have been superb.
Uriarte showing the kind of form that he wants to try and stretch this group out a little bit, calm things down at the front. What Uriarte is going to have is, as soon as he gets into the main straight, with a lead like that, that'll be nowhere near enough by the time they get onto the 1 kilometre main straight. He'll just get reeled back in again with the power on the slipstream here. Looking back at the group behind him, Keeler still running around in 8th place. He's still just up behind Carpe. In fact, he might have lost a little because Danish is now ahead of him. Fatama with the group now starting to pick up the pace again. Fatama in danger, just getting attacked again slightly.
So 3 races felt like today was going to be potentially a big breakthrough day, as far as Danish once again makes that move, going through on Almanza this time at turn 14. I think everybody in this league group has been mugged by Danish in that final corner. Uriarte then it's your lead. It just sends pre-racing. This might be a big day for Uriarte. Once again, he's trying to break the toe behind him. Landers just easy to the inside line. Still even though he's still there, was Almanza then and through on Rios. Almanza's an absolute missile, isn't he, down the start-finish straight. He was behind Danish coming onto that run down to turn 1. He got through on Rios and Danish back up into 4th, the Thai Grand Prix winner.
Fatama in 9th now, he's 1.8 seconds off the lead and 6/10 off the back of the group ahead of him, which is tailed by Quiles. Rios back through on David Almanza with the KTM, certainly in the more pointed squirt sections of this racetrack. Very, very quick. In the sort of longer corners where we want that edge grip. The Hondas look like they come back into the reckoning. Munoz taking Fernandez now into turn 5. So it's intact. Both of those riders are battling with some young whippersnappers on Hondas.
Right now, just keeping his powder dry. Fernandez straight back to on Munoz as we go through 7 and 8. He's keeping his powder dry. Seemingly at this stage of the Grand Prix, just content to watch all the chaos unfold in front of him. It's Quiles still there in 8th place. Peroni from pole position. Well, his slump continues. He's back down in 12th at the moment. Peroni, I mean, has he done a 47 at any stage in this Grand Prix? Not too many of them if he has.
He's struggling badly, not scoring points, so he carries that on. Munoz has been able to lock Fernandez. We know these two have got previous as recently as Jerez when they were battling for 2nd place. Munoz now has that 2nd place, but they do need to be a little bit careful here to not allow Uriarte to build up too much of a cushion. Half a second now.
Sorry, Sunday here for Peroni. He was 12th at the start of this lap 10. He's been pushed back outside the points now. Italian's got him down to 16th place as Quiles goes wide on the green out of the final corner. You have to be careful there. The Jules will be keeping a very close eye on that one. Fernandez then, is he close enough this time to pick up some slipstream and strike on Uriarte? Uriarte this time round, he hooks the right-hand side of the circuit. He's going ultra defensive once again as Uriarte. That's getting tight as Fernandez gets hung out to drive by Almanza. That's allowed Munoz to come back into the podium places as well. Still making no serious attack, still making no aggressive manoeuvres towards the front here is Quiles. He's been at the back of this pack now for 3 or 4 laps. Just getting into pain, I'm sure, but just thinking, okay, at some point this pace can't be sustained. There's going to be a drop-off with the tyres. When do I feel like it's my moment to maybe start coming through, siding my way through?
3 of the 4 riders ahead of them are on the softer rear tyre, which might well come into play in the latter stages. Rios looks like he's attacking Carpe. That's for 6th place. Rios really is entertaining us, and of course he's on for his best Moto3 result. That's an incident of a circuit that's unfaded in the past. Shout out for another rookie, Morelli, who's now jumped onto the back of this train. He's the second of the Aspar bikes in 9th place. He's about to latch onto the rear tyre of his teammate Quiles.
That's how close the two were watching Quiles. We saw him go on the green out of the final corner, and right on Quiles had a track limits warning. Yeah, that's lap by Morelli at 47.592. He's outside the points scoring places at the start of this Grand Prix. Danish opens the ball wide open. Danish charged into 10, way too hot there, didn't he? But that's allowed Rios and Carpe to come back through.
Oriarte, they've reeled in Oriarte on this lap. Now he's got two intact riders who we know are going to attack at any opportunity they get. And that KTM, clearly the intact bike's geared up for this long main straight. So Almanza and Munoz, they're both going to be eyeing up an attack on the leader Oriarte now.
Does not look like this is the first time Oriarte has led a Grand Prix. He looks measured, he looks assured, doesn't he, leading this battle. Almanza now has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Pace is hotting up here. Was there just a little bit of a lull while the riders had tried to make sure they were protecting those tyres for a late charge? Almanza thought about a move on the inside of Oriarte into one. 47.252 that lap by Almanza. He dragged out Munoz, his teammate, around to his best lap of the Grand Prix as well. Only rider in the top 10 on the last lap was in the 48 was Danish, although we did see him go charging and head into 10, which saw him lose places to Rios and Carpe, place that he's now trying to recover and has recovered.
How good was Oriarte on the brakes there into turn one? Looked like he'd almost lost that one, because they were to outbrake both Almanza and Munoz to keep the lead. We've got Danish attacking, we've got Rios attacking. They're both attacking Adrian Fernandez, who's now on the outside line, and there are no Moto3 riders. You're going to let you back up to line there, Adrian.
The picture there, fair play to O'Shea. Looks like he's broken that group that he was involved in with Perone, Cruces, Esteban and his teammate Kelso. Eddie O'Shea in 12th position, one of his best dry race results at Limit for the Brit for MLab Racing. Top job that by O'Shea, 1.6 seconds away behind Fatama in 11th.
Again, Oriarte using his defensive skills, covering the inside line. Of course, Almanza knows all about that. He got very defensive into the final corner against Quiles in Buriram. It helped him win his first Grand Prix. So turning into a bit of a chess match now going into the final 6 laps of this Grand Prix. And all the riders will be thinking in their heads, where do I want to be going on to that main straight to start the final lap? Do you want to lead? Do you want to be second? Do you want to be third or further back?
Look at this, Oriarte, Almanza and Munoz are just threatening a bit of breakaway here. We're at 2/3 distance here in Barcelona. Let's just check the gap between Munoz and the 64 bike. I think it was Rios that was in 4th place in that final sector. Over the line we go, yeah. Rios is now almost half a second behind Munoz. Recover a bit of time in the slipstream here. As the top 3 go side by side. Oriarte an intact sandwich here on the brakes into the first corner. He gets picked off by both. Almanza, well, he's got the fastest motorcycle through the speed charts here. Clearly Almanza, so good he is. He obviously, it's all down to the fact he gets good drive out the final corner as well. But Oriarte then back in 3rd place.
Rios refuses to be shaken off in this group as he used the slipstream and some braking prowess to stay ahead of Carpe. Quiles has now gained a couple, he's 6th. He's ahead of Danish and Fernandez. Fernandez starting to fade at this stage of the race. He's now in 8th position.
It was interesting to see the effect of the slipstream on that last lap. Oriarte was leading out the final corner, directly behind him with clear air. Almanza was 5 kilometres an hour quicker through the speed gun, and Munoz, who was behind the pair of them, was 5.5 kilometres an hour faster than Oriarte. So that's what we're dealing with here. There are the numbers in terms of working out how much the slipstream can play big dividends here in Barcelona. At the end of the straight, 5 kilometres was the difference between Oriarte and Almanza.
The final lap is that the finish line is closer to the last corner, so it's not necessarily the kind of final corner where you can follow and slipstream to the line, because it's right outside a common box window, directly beneath the podium. So if you're thinking about the final lap, you really want to lead out of the final corner.
Fernandez is suffering. He was right in the heart of the victory battle here, wasn't he? Not too long ago, but he's moved back down in 8th place now.
Look at Rios taking 2 of them. 2 intact overtakes for Rios, and well, he was about to lead, but unfortunately a little bit too optimistic.
Yeah, fast on entry, sometimes being slow on exit. He's going to get absolutely swallowed. Here comes Quiles. Here comes Quiles. You can just see the 28 right there on the far left of your picture, just behind, or just in front of Rios. And now Quiles is charging towards the top 3. He's inside the top 3 for the first time this Grand Prix. Not for too long, though, because Carpe dives on the inside on the 83 by the Carpe and Quiles. They're coming.
Credit to Carpe, he has not enjoyed himself so far this weekend. Remember, he qualified down in 14th. This is what it looked like from Quiles, who was on the grass. Pitboards, less than a metre away from him, but Quiles managed to hang on to it. It's all kicked off, as you can see, top left of your screen. We now rejoined that leading battle. It looks like Carpe is now threatening to take the lead in this race.
Quiles can't complain when he comes to his pitboard. And now Quiles on the inside of Munoz. clean as a whistle, wasn't that by Keeler? Oh, Garpe has a good level. He's like, oh, dearie me. It's going to be a bit feisty, this. It's going to get a bit spicy at the front here in Barcelona. Carpe has had a good long look to his left draw now, Almanza. Well, that just opened the door for Keeles to fire on through. So it's Almanza and Keeles at the front. Are we going to get set for another Borough belter like we had in the season over here in Barcelona? Almanza it is, that leads. Keeles are now into second. Looks like it's been another tactical masterclass this by Keeles. For so long he was down in 8th place, but now we're into the final third of this Grand Prix, 4.5 to go. He has decided to make a significant move.
Just done a 1:47.2 on the previous lap, hit personal best lap in the Grand Prix. He's a second quicker than Almanza, who now leads, but we've seen plenty of Almanza and Keeles at the front of races. It didn't look as if Keeles had the greatest top end speed, as we said when we were riding on board. There was just so much action up ahead of him, but he just took full advantage of it. Once again, he was flirting with the outside track limits. He's already had a warning.
He's got a warning twice now through the final corner. But he's been, well, the last time he wasn't the green and got the track limits warning. There's Munoz getting some fantastic slipstream. Look at Munoz there behind Carpe. Danish behind Munoz and Carpe. The Blaze is going to be third. Is he going to just drop in fourth? Trying to drop in front of Uriarte. Just has to back out of ever so slightly. But Keeles leads. Max Keeles then has taken 115 out of the first, 125 points on the table in 2026. He is back in very familiar territory. Keeles leads here in Barcelona, 4 to go.
And the Asphalt team are very nervous. They're watching their timing screens, hoping that the words long lap penalty don't appear next to Max Keeles' name. Danish very much still in this, and still in the hunt for a maiden podium. He's fifth on the road. There's a Carpe that to take that inside line on his teammate Uriarte, but IO KTM third and fourth.
Running further down there to take 8th away from Fernandez. Fernandez struggling a little bit at this stage of the Grand Prix. Right by O'Gorman. Casey O'Gorman, 24th on the grid. He really might be paying for an aggressive start, and then now he's come through the slipstream as well. This has been a class ride by O'Gorman. Keeles in at the front, side by side he goes with Almanza. Uriarte also trying to make a bit of a draft on the run out of turn 9. Almanza it is that's back at the front. He's in the Almanza lane there, isn't he?
All in a straight line, wasn't it? Didn't need to use any speed on the prowess on the brakes. It was all speed out of the corner and then speed down the straight. So Max Keeles is now well aware that he's got a bit of a disadvantage in terms of outright straight line speed over David Almanza. But tactically, we know Keeles is as a cunning an operator as you'll find in Moto3.
Carpe, the latest in this epic Barcelona brawl here in Moto3 to get a track limits warning. This is now going to be all about the slipstream, and Keeles once again hugging in the white line. He goes grass cutting once again on the long one down to the start-finish line.
Next offence will result in a long lap penalty. He is on his final warning. He's absolutely surrounded here by KTMs and Hondas, and it's now an IO 1 and 2, and Uriarte's back to the front.
How close do you want it in Moto3? Oh, Carpe was almost out of the seat, almost hard-sided himself to the moon there on the gas coming out of turn 3, and Munoz just basically sideswiped him, going through a good old-fashioned shoulder barge there for Munoz into, well, there were 7 or 8 abreast, weren't they, on the brakes in the first corner, but it's Uriarte now that's back at the front.
Munoz was completely sideways. No wonder he ran wide into turn 4. There are a few places I'd want to be on a Moto3 racetrack, but the last place I want to be is on the outside of David Munoz.
O'Gorman with 24. Look at the podium here. The back of your picture, he's just come through on Fernandez briefly. Fernandez was able to just close the door and keep the Irish rider at bay, but I mean, anyone's guess from the top 10 here who could win this Grand Prix or finish inside the top 3. At the moment, Uriarte, previous best finish in his Moto3 career, a 7th. Yeah, he's pulling away. He's pulling away. 3/10 he was cleared through the second sector. Let's check his progress over Keeles, still in second place. Yeah, it's still at 3/10 of a second then now. Uriarte into the fourth split. He's walked about half of the bike lengths back to Keeles.
Yeah, it's hard to work out because it's changing so much, but Uriarte certainly feels like he's done most of the leading in this Grand Prix. He's been able to manage that soft rear tyre pretty well. It hasn't dropped yet on Brian Uriarte. We've got 2 more laps for the young Spaniard, the junior world champion, to try and become a Moto3 Grand Prix winner for the first time.
It could be the best day in the life of Brian as it stands at the moment. He has got 2 laps remaining. They power down the start-finish straight. Uriarte with a quarter of a second advantage over Keeles. They're desperate to try and pick up some slipstream. Look at Keeles motoring towards Uriarte. Can he outbrake Uriarte into first corner? Look how aggressive. Look how hard Uriarte was trying that KTM to stop. He had his rear tyre almost in the air there. Uriarte then still leads.
Danish now back into fourth. He's cleared Almanza, so this is a crucial lap then. Penultimate lap. You want to position yourself to be in the best possible spot onto the main straight to start the final lap, to pick up potentially 2, 3, 4 bike slipstream. You could start the final lap in fifth and lead into turn one.
Keyless so far this season has not finished lower than second place. It's the second place he occupies at the moment, but not much longer though, because Munoz, that was a class move by Munoz. It was a hard move, but it was clean. True on Keyless and down the hill into turn 5.
Munoz wants Uriarte's rear tyre coming onto the main straight to start the final lap. That might well be the best place to be. We've got, 10, 11 riders who could still win this race or finish on the podium. The leading group still goes all the way back to Veda in 11th place.
What a ride by the number 67. Further down, we've still got points from Patama, O'Shea, Yamanaka, Esteban, and Perone for the visuals. Oh, Rios, that's a big one. That's a big get-off late on here for Jesus Rios. He goes barrel rolling through the gravel trap. So Rios takes himself out of victory contention, takes himself out of podium contention. It leaves Uriarte, Munoz and Keyless as your top 3 as we now come into this crucial final corner for the penultimate time. It's all about getting the drag here, getting some slipstream to try and attack Uriarte on the brakes into turn 1. Uriarte then will lead the last lap, the biggest lap of his career so far.
Uriarte surely is just going to hug the inside of the racetrack. He's going to stick as right as he can, but there's still left a little bit of a gap, which Keyless and Munoz were more than happy to ride through.
As he timed this to absolute perfection, Danish tried to go the long way around. That's not going to work out. He might get passed on the outside now by Almanza coming out of turn 2. So Keyless from Uriarte. Uriarte running wide going through that turn 3, and Munoz just hugs the inside line and moves back into second place. Oh, now here comes Danish on the inside of Munoz, on the inside of Uriarte as well. Danish up in a second, now he's back to third. Keyless though still leads.
We have to go back to Caroline and Powie, don't we, for the last time in Malaysia. What a Moto3 race. Danish wants to end that way. They're jockeying around. Uriarte's now back in 4th. Is he now too far back? Carpe now up behind him. He takes 5th. Morelli's trying to get into the action. Surely he and Almanza are too far back now.
Oh, David Almanza's been really duffed up on this last lap, hasn't he? He's going the wrong way. Now he's been picked up big time by Morelli. They're going through 7 and 8. Well, big head shake for Uriarte. Has that cost him the chance of this Grand Prix victory? Because he's hemorrhaging places late on here. It's Keyless that has about a 10th and a half over Munoz. Keyless versus Munoz now surely for the win.
Yeah, it's down to 2. He was wide, was Danish, or was Uriarte, sorry, over the curve coming out of turn 7, and so we see Danish going way wide into turn 10. It's a battle now between the IO teammates, Carpe and Uriarte on the podium.
Head in hands for Malaysian fans as Hakim Danish was third with just 4 corners remaining. He runs wide at the crucial moment. Talking of crucial moments, and here is Munoz. Can he find some late fireworks here to deny Keyless? Keyless is going to go super tight. Munoz goes on the inside. Rossi versus Lorenzo 2009. Anybody who is going to win here in Barcelona? It looks like it could be Keyless. Keyless does it. Max Keyless wins a Catalunya Classic in Moto3. And the winning machine for CF Moto Aspar is in full working order once again. Max Keyless is just the 11th rider in Moto3 history to win 3 Grand Prix in a row. He still has not finished lower than second so far in what has been a mesmerising start to this year's Moto3 World Championship. Keyless pinches it at the line. Munoz was all in for him, wasn't he? A brave move by Munoz at the final corner. He had to settle the 3rd place at the checkered flag as Alvaro Carpe came through to take 2nd. Less than a 10th covering your top 3. Brian Uriarte, who was leading on that last lap, had to settle for 4th. A class ride from the front row for Uriarte. But he probably thought he was going to get more and deserve more. Almanza, Morelli, Danish, Patama, Fernandez, O'Gorman, your top 10. Look at this. Late fireworks here in Barcelona. Munoz did go all in, just as he knew he would do. Keyless though with enough room to move on the inside. Take about Munoz. He was all in, wasn't he there? But Keyless once again. Look how tight he was between Carpe and Munoz. Oh, Carpe's on the grass there pretty much, and he is on the grass. Carpe got 2nd by 4 thousandths of a second. Moto3 has delivered another beauty of a race here in Barcelona. Absolutely phenomenal. And what can you say about Max Keyless, Lewis? It doesn't matter what race gets thrown at him, what happens in front of him. He always finds a way.
He is just far too good. He is the Moto3 equivalent of a cheat code at this level. Whatever you throw at him, whatever situation he's in, he was on his last warning for track limits. He spent much of the Grand Prix languishing down in 8th place. Didn't look like he had the speed to get himself into the leading group. He was clearly playing a patient, waiting game. And when the time to strike came, Max Quiles, who is nicknamed Killer Quiles by the Asphalt team, he did strike decisively on that final lap.